Well, hello, everybody. You already know what time it is. It's time for the Purpose Conversation. I am Juva Alexander, the host of this oh so amazing podcast. And y'all haven't seen me in a while. And you know what? I know you see that I have some friends here. These are some of my pink sisters. Our theme song is I'm a Survivor because y'all, we have been surviving. We have been surviving. We have officially survived what they call is breast cancer. And this is the special breast cancer awareness edition for the Purpose Conversation. I want to thank each and every one of I want to thank each and every one of my purpose friends here. I want to thank you ladies so much for, first of all, thank you for your yes. Thank you very much for being here. We had a couple of technical issues here on the front end. So it's very possible that the link that you may have shared with your family and friends, I don't know if you want to send them a quick note and say, hey, you might want to just kind of check out the YouTube channel and just check out live because we should be on there now. So we are going to go ahead and get started real quick. As I said, I'm Juva Alexander. For all of the new purpose friends, I call everyone that comes into the room one of my purpose friends because here we talk all things purpose. And we're gonna dig in. We're gonna dig in right away because we have a very important purpose conversation tonight. And we're gonna go kind of round robin style. I'm going to allow all of my pink sisters, that's what we call ourselves. I'm going to allow all of my pink sisters to basically to tell you all just a little bit about themselves and when they were diagnosed with breast cancer. And if you ladies would, as everybody's kind of speaking, go ahead and you can put yourself on mute unless you know you're speaking. That way we won't have any feedback, okay? And Sarah, I believe you are up first.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me, my beautiful sister. I am 45 years old. I live in Arizona. I love it here. I'm a California transplant. I lived in Vegas all of my 20s. That was amazing. But I have an 11-year-old daughter. I'm happily married, and um, a little over a year after I was married, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that was May of last year. So I'm a whole year out of it. So thank God. It's
Awesome.
over to
Thank
you,
you very
Jen.
much for coming in, Sarah and Jen. You're up next.
Hi, guys. I am Jen. I am from Wisconsin. I'm 42 years old. I have an amazing husband. I have a 15-year-old son, almost 16. Bless them. Teenagers. You know those teenagers. I was diagnosed last May, 5 days after my 41st birthday. And I actually caught mine through a self exam and my first mammogram.
Thank you so much for being here, Jen. Thank you. And
Hey y'all, thank you for having me, Juva. I appreciate you inviting me. But my name is Christina. I am 50 years old. I have 3 adult children and 4 grandchildren. I have an amazing husband. And so I actually had just one symptom. I just Well, my breast cancer was not caught through an actual mammogram. Mine is a little bit different, but I was diagnosed December the 27th of 2023. So I'm not quite a year yet.
All right, my name is Tasha Addison Adams. I'm 46 years old. I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina, but have been in Charlotte for probably 30 years or more now. So I guess Charlotte. I was diagnosed May. No, I'm sorry. Everybody said May. Now I'm saying May. I was diagnosed July the 25th, 2023. And I have a husband as well. No children, but I have a bonus daughter and I am a grandmother, which I am super duper excited about.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, Tasha. Yeah, Tasha has a brand new grandbaby, y'all. So she's like, spoiling her and all that other good stuff. And purpose friends, y'all know I'm Juva 3 Alexander. I was diagnosed a year ago this past May. And yeah, mine was also a little bit different. I did detect it through a mammogram, but I had some other things going on. So I kind of like had two different breast cancer diagnoses in one. Isn't that crazy? But I also had what we call would be Paget's disease of the breast, in which I had cancer actually in the nipple, and also, of course, IDC, and I think all of us are IDC, inductal invasive ductal carcinoma, IDC. And so, anyway, it has been a journey for all of us. All of us belong to one of the same breast cancer support groups, and you know what? I want to jump into that just a little bit, because I believe that support is so important. I too have a husband, and I have kids. I have 5 kids, and I have 1 grandkid, and but yeah. So it's been an interesting journey, but I do want to talk about support. And I'll ask this question, or either somebody could tell me. You could raise your hand if you want to take this one first. But what is your biggest support system during this time? Maybe it's family, friends, or perhaps even a community. What has been your greatest sense of support? Sure, Sarah.
Um, so, I'm again newly married, and so my 4th week honeymoon, newlywed husband really was kind of thrust into his vows of, and sickness and in health and death to us part and all of those things. I told him, well, geez, I didn't realize we were going to test our vows in the first 6 months. What the heck is going on over here? But like, how you guys were saying how you had minor symptoms. I had been really, really, really sick for a while. I almost didn't make it to my wedding because I was so sick. And the doctor just kept telling me, "Oh, your blood tests are fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. Your thyroid level, everything's fine." But I was like, "But I'm telling you, I'm not fine. I don't feel good, and you're missing it." Well, finally, he sent me to a surgical doctor who then started doing scopes and this and that and blah, 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 and all these other, which all comes into part of my support team, because I realized that I had to create my own support team, because the people that I needed to listen and pay attention, they were just looking at that piece of paper and saying, "Well, it says you're fine." And you have to be your own support. You have to be your own advocate, I think, sometimes for things like this. When your body tells you when something's wrong, and it, whether or not we listen to it, right? But anyway, finally, after doing all these surgical tests and still nothing, the one test we hadn't done was a mammogram in 3 years. I've been getting mammograms since I was 30 because of the history in my family as far as cancer goes. So I've been preventative since I was 30. Not only did I have one tumor, I had 5 tumors, but all my blood tests said I was fine. All my levels were fine, but I had 5 tumors, and it had already metastasized from the breast into my lymph nodes. Had I listened to the doctors and said, oh, we can revisit in 6 months and see where we go, I might not be in this podcast right now. Because it is invasive ductal carcinoma, whether it's hormonal or not, whatever. Invasive means fast moving. That's just what it means. So my thought process was, you weren't listening to me, right? So I supported myself and demanded that they listen. Well, then once we were able to, now they want to give you options or you can do this or that, blah, blah. And I said, no, there are no options now. Just take them off so that I can start moving forward. Because my life is way more important than anything else, right?
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about our specific treatments and the plans. But I think you made a very, very, very valid point that sometimes you have to be your support system and you definitely have to be an advocate, for yourself. Jen, let me ask you something. What do you feel might have been what part of your journey was probably the most challenging for you?
I would say chemo. I would say, I don't think even just going along the lines of the whole support, I think there's different support. You know what I mean? Like the people we live with, our husbands, they see our what we truly need, like the tears, the struggles. Then there's also like, you have your friends who don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? They're there, but they don't know. So it was the Facebook groups. It was the TikToks. I mean, that's how I found you, Juva. Like my girls who have been through it, who really get it. Like, so I'm like, that's what I need. I need to lift up. You know what I mean? Like I need that support from my girls, my groups, because of those groups. And we'll get into, like you said, our individual journeys, but I went into all my doctor's appointments advocating, like Sarah said, for myself. I knew so much more. And they were like, how do you know all this? I'm like, you know what? Some of the groups I'm in are amazing. Like I never realized all that they offer. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the ins and the outs and the secrets and what you can get, like everything. And I share that on my platform, we can get into that later. But I just think chemo definitely took me out. It made me, just have to think of life differently, like just the things your body goes through. And it was like, whoa, like I'm upbeat. I'm usually very talkative. I'm like, woo. And that took me like down. I missed my son's whole like summer, spring program for baseball. We're on a travel team. We're a big baseball family. So I would watch it on Game Changer on my phone and just cry in bed, like, cause I'm sick with chemo. So it was like all the memories I'm missing. You know what I mean? I could cry just thinking about it, but but chemo, but I'm glad to be over with it. And would I do it again if I had to? Damn right I will. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can definitely relate to missing some games or going to some games sick. We are a very big football family. And so I tell you that whole journey of football, and I intentionally, my son was on JV last year, so that meant every Friday I decided to have chemo every Friday. So by Thursday I wouldn't necessarily be, that I'd be okay, but some Thursdays I wasn't, because you guys kind of know how it kind of rolls sometimes, so yeah, I can definitely relate there. And I think chemo, that may have been a good chunk of a challenging part for me. Let me shift a little bit. Tasha, let me ask you, um how do you think your perspective on life changed after your diagnosis? Can't hear you.
Can't.
Now I can hear you. There, I just unmuted you. Maybe
To
you
answer
need
your
to
question, go ahead.
go ahead, Tasha. Do you need me to
Okay,
ask the question again?
you can, yes.
Okay. So, how did your perspective on life change after your diagnosis?
I would say that it made me more intentional about my health.
Mm,
After that, it made me more intentional. It made me think about the importance of health. Like, I'm not missing no doctor's appointments now. I'm going to every doctor's appointment I have. Anything they say that I need to have done, I'm okay. Let me check that off. Let me schedule it. Just being intentional about health, because yeah, this taught you a lesson. Like, this was, yeah,
You
I'm
know,
getting like,
one thing that I admired while watching your journey and just kind of being connected with you, one thing you did that I didn't do, and one thing that you still do, and it I can definitely say that you took your health seriously. Y'all, Tasha was out, an avid walker. She was out there moving her body, like sweating little sweat beads. And she was out there doing that, like in between chemo, and I know in between being sick on certain days. Um,
yes.
but how important do you feel that? How important can you tell us moving that body? How did that work for you?
It was very important. Like, anything that they told me, I tried to do it. And one of the things that my doctor told me is to make sure that I move. Don't just lay there and be bedridden. Like, you have to get up and move, because the more you move, the better you feel, which a lot of times you think, like, how am I going to feel better when I don't feel good? But I took it very seriously. So she was like 30 minutes a day if you can. So I would get up, whether it was cold outside. You saw me with my hoodie on, my little beanie, and I was up there. I was up and out, walking back and forth up and down the street. Sometimes it took me forever to do it, but I was determined to get it done. But I also listened to my body. When it was days that I could not move, I sat right there on the chair and I did not move. But it's
Right.
very important. A lot of times people feel like, I'm tired, I can't do it. But sometimes you have to push yourself beyond what you think you can do, because it actually did help.
Good, good. Yeah. And yeah. And when I did call myself moving my body a little bit, I could tell the difference. Christina, my question for you, what do you think? Do you think that there were any unexpected lessons that you learned through treatment?
Oh, well, I am a huge planner. Um, and I have been taught throughout this journey that my plans are not always God's plans. God has a different plan for me. And I have definitely learned that. I recently had an unexpected, unplanned surgery right at 2 weeks ago now. And I was very distraught by it. So to say the least, we sat down at the beginning with our medical oncologist, and we received, the plan of, chemo and the mastectomy and the radiation, and then, your reconstruction, and then boop, in the middle, oh, by the way, something's not going right, and we need to do another surgery. So I think for me, it's just the unknown, and it was very distracting for me. Um, it I had to just trust and believe that that's exactly what was supposed to be happening for me,
Mm,
to get myself through it. Just because, it's like I said, it wasn't in my plan. It wasn't here in my mind. And I'm a huge planner, so it kind of threw me off. But again, having those Facebook groups, and having friends that have been through unexpected things definitely helped me get through that time of what am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to do this?
Hmm. I think that is so so powerful. And um yeah, our plans sometimes are not exactly what it is that that he had for us, that he has for us. um You touched on something here briefly, and first of all, I want to say hey to some of the people that we see, some of the purpose friends, and probably some brand new purpose friends. But I do see my mother in here on YouTube, and she is actually a pink sister, y'all. So let's say hey there to my mama, Miss Annie. Um, but anyway, one of the, I guess I'll ask the question, answer the question as it relates to support. One of course, the all of our Facebook groups and things like that. That was very instrumental and very helpful for me because we could ask all types of questions and learn from one another. That was really important. But another very important group of people that actually helped me throughout this whole entire process, other than family and friends, other than immediate family and friends, was um, a community of my sisters. And these were ladies that were praying for me. They were
Yes.
even fasting for me, praying with me. And I kid you not, almost every day for months, I received in the mail a handwritten note or either a card or something, because they all know, that words of affirmation is my love language, and they just poured into me. And so community is so very important, so whether it's online or you have a group of people that you can meet with face to face, community was really important for me, and it was part of my support system. Let me ask here, by any chance, y'all know how we usually get a lot of different advice and information, and have you tried this, have you tried that, right? Yeah. By any chance, has any of you explored any alternative treatments or practices alongside your medical treatment plan?
I don't know if it's. I did a lot of the like healing touch, the massage, um, the what was the other thing that I did? I did myofascial therapy as well.
What's
So I
that?
tried those type of things where they go in, like where my port was, or where the surgery was. It's like you're moving like scar tissue, trying to move the tightness and the swelling by just
Oh,
using the hand to push and to smooth kind of in this direction like that.
oh
So
wow.
yes, I tried those type of things, and all of those were through the Pink House.
Okay, okay. And let's talk about the pink house. And I want to know if you ladies have something similar in your area, or something that we can tell other pink sisters and brothers to kind of look out for. Talk about the pink house for just a moment, Tasha.
The Pink House is Carolina Breast Friends. It's a nonprofit organization where they have different programs that you can try. They have mentoring programs. Like it's in the packet that you get here in Charlotte, in the packet that you get when you first diagnose, of the different places and different things that you can do. So you will go to the Pink House, you will meet the wonderful Charmaine, who will give you a tour of the place and tell you all about the different programs. They have a boutique upstairs where you can go and get wigs. They have hats. They give you a bag with all the goodies that you may need, pillows to put under your arm if you just had lymph nodes or something removed. Like I said, they have the mentoring program where they'll assign you with someone that has pretty much the same diagnosis that you have had. And then they have like survival night where you can go in and all the survivors come in, and you just like, we did a cookout one time, and then we had Christmas in July.
Yes.
So different fun things like that. Just this past Thursday, we did the pink boot ball. That was a tongue twister. Where you wear your pink cowboy boots and come out and just eat and fellowship and just learn about the different programs. And it's a wonderful place. So if you're in Charlotte and you need anything, the Pink House Carolina Breast Friends, excuse me, is where you would want to go.
Right. And it's so funny because I remember we've done a couple different things through the Pink House, but
Mhm.
also I know that there's also another group called Go Jen Go, and I remember Jen seeing some of the information. She was like, "Oh, what is this?" Jen, is there anything in your area that kind of go along the same lines as far as community type of nonprofit things that someone can find in your area, perhaps?
Yeah, so there's actually ABCD after breast cancer diagnosis in our area. You do have to apply to be, chosen, but you have to be like a year out from all your treatments and all your surgeries. And then just like Tasha, they'll partner with you with someone around your same age and that has gone through the same thing, so you can be a mentor to them. And that's something that I'm actually very interested in, but I'm not done with all my stuff yet, so I don't qualify. But I need to go, by Tasha. I want to go to a pink boot ball. That's
I know.
so
I
fun.
know. That sounds so fun. And she was looking real cute, honey. Real cute.
Thank you.
Oh, I bet she did.
I think next year we all try to go. I'm down to drive back to North Carolina. I'm in.
I know that's right. Well, you need to come and visit anyway. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
And now that I know you're all back there.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about a little bit about advice and awareness, if we would. And actually, Sarah, I'd like for you to answer this one. What advice would you give to someone who has just received their diagnosis?
Wow, that's a hard one.
That is a hard one. You want another one, or you want someone else to take it?
No, I want that one. I just gotta think about it for a second. Well, because, when I first got my diagnosis, and I can't speak for you guys, but for me, it was like, how? Right? It wasn't necessarily why me, but how? Like, I've been doing all these preventative things since I was 30 years old because of my family, just on my mom's side. So it was like, how? And then it was like, okay, so now it all makes sense of why I've been so sick. And then it was, what's the next thing? Let's get to the next part so that I can get on the other side of this. That was all I could think in my head. And at first, and the biggest thing I did was I stayed off the Google.
Yes.
I did not. That was, my doctor told me that all I was going to do was give myself a death sentence. I had friends calling me, "You're gonna die!"
Oh,
No,
gosh.
like, stop looking stuff up on Google. I was telling them to stop because I still don't understand all the numbers and all the cancer is a very complex thing to even wrap your head around, your own diagnosis, let alone anyone else's. The numbers, and none of it made sense to me. All I knew is that I had cancer and I wanted to get rid of it in the fastest way possible. So once the surgery was done, then I could deal with the chemo, and then, everything after that, it was one step at a time. I gave it to God, and then it was, okay, the chemo's done. We're gonna chill for a minute, and we're gonna do radiation. And you know what I mean? And chemo, like then, it almost took me out the first time because I went neutropenic. And they don't until they give you that first round or radiation or whatever, they really don't know what it's going to do to your body, and you don't either. So my biggest advice is eat a lot of Mexican food, because that's what I did. The beans are protein, and it sticks to
That
your
is
bones.
true. That is
It
true.
sticks to your bones, and I live in a very we're very close to Mexico where I'm at.
Okay.
So we have a lot of very good, authentic Mexican food, and a lot of my friends, they cook their family recipes. So I had one friend that was like a godsend to me, because she would come over once a week and make me a pot of beans, a pot of rice, and buy me like the tostada shell with some like avocado, and even if that was all I could get down for the day, it was enough protein so that I wasn't losing weight and that I wasn't getting super, 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 super sick from the chemo. Once they were able to keep me from going neutropenic, it was just going through the motions. But I haven't had as many as you all have had. I only had 4 chemo. So when I hear y'all stories and you're 12, 13, 25, 58, and I'm like, girl, I am not even fixing to be over here complaining. I had 4. I survived.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because
that's the thing about cancer, breast cancer, and treatments, is that they could be so different. So the piece of advice that you would give would be to stay off of Google, and to fill in with protein. That's really good.
And that's what the doctor told me. And
That's
stay off
right.
of school and give your body. And I'm allergic to milk, so I couldn't eat any of the protein shakes and stuff, because it would just make me sick and throw up.
Right.
And I just didn't. I had a double mastectomy, so I didn't want to throw up.
Right.
I wanted to be still for a little while. But yeah, eat what you can when you can, and listen to your body. When it tells you to lay down, lay down. When it tells you to go for a walk, go for a walk. If you need to get some fresh air, even if it's just walking to the front door and standing outside for a minute, get some air and go back. Sometimes that's all God wants you to do, is get up.
That's right. Let me ask you the same question, Jen. What advice? Actually, I want all of us to do that. So let's round robin it. Jen, if you could give, what advice would you give to someone who just received a diagnosis?
I've actually had a couple of women clients come in my work, and one was going to my breast surgeon, and I said, "You're in great hands." I told her, I said, but the first thing I tell them is that this is not something that you asked for, but you're chosen. You're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. Like I say, let yourself feel the emotions, go through all the emotions. It's okay. I said, there's support out there. I said, I'm here for you if you need to come talk to anybody. And I had one client who would come back constantly to talk to me and tell me every step that she was getting. And she just wanted to hear from me. How was it for me? And I told her, everybody's different, but
Mhm.
I said, but it's going to be okay. I said, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? I said, you just gotta do your research. Like I tell them to join the groups on Facebook, to be honest. That was my
Yes.
saving grace. Like
Yes.
that informed me so much. Like, and I say, join these groups because these women are amazing. I said, you will know so much more going into your appointments. I said, and I tell them it goes fast. I
Mhm.
said, so when you find your results, or boom, 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 appointment, record, take notes, bring someone with you. I said, because there's going to be a lot of info that you don't know, but speak up and ask and advocate for yourself. Like, I'm like, if you don't know something, ask. So
That is so true.
yeah, it goes quick.
Yep. What about you, Christina?
I would say for me, the same as Sarah was saying, is stay off Google.
Hmm.
That was probably one of the first piece of advice that my medical oncologist gave to me. was to stay off Google. She did tell me I could do WebMD, which is a medical website. But for me, I think I just needed the time to let it soak in with my soul, to just let it soak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a history of breast cancer in my family at all. Um, as a matter of fact, no one in my family that I have been around has cancer. So to hear those words come back to me, it wasn't why me. It was like, wow, where do I go from here? Um, and I needed to let it soak in. I needed to let it soak in with me. I needed to let it soak in with my husband and my adult children. Um, and I told a couple of my best friends. Um, but I just say you do what you feel is right for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, I encourage people to stay off Google.
Yes.
Even now, I encourage people to stay off Google, even as far along as I am. Google is probably one of the places I do not go to look up something. Um, I just needed it to soak in with me. I was in shock. I didn't know what to say, how to feel, what to do. I didn't know any of that. And so I just needed to let it soak in and just let me get a hold of me to
Mm-hmm.
figure it all out.
That's a good way to put it. Let it all soak in. I didn't never think of it that way before. So
Yep.
that's a really cool way to say that, Christina.
Yep. That's good. That is real good. What about you, Tasha? What piece of advice, um, or what piece of advice would you give to someone who just received their diagnosis?
I would definitely say, she said soak in. I'm going to use the word process it. Process your diagnosis. I went straight into survival mode. Like, listen, I'm about to beat this. I'm just straight survival mode. And I never took the time to process it. So now I'm dealing with that on the back end. Now that I'm finished fighting in survival mode, now I'm dealing with it because I never processed it. So take the time to process the diagnosis. Know that you can live with this diagnosis. It's not a death sentence. Listen to what the doctors are telling you to do. Don't be out here trying to be a hero and listening to all this other stuff that other people tried. Everybody is different. So what worked for somebody else may not work for you. Like they stated, of course, my doctor told me, because I was in the process of trying to lose weight, and I'm just like, I don't know what to eat. And she was like, I don't know what to drink, because I'm a water drinker. I would drink almost 120 ounces of water a day. But then once I started chemo, I couldn't stand the taste of water. And I was struggling with the getting my fluid intake in. And she was like, at this point, I don't care if you drink soda, coffee, lemonade, whatever you got to drink, just get your fluids in, or whatever you got to eat. If you have to eat ice cream every single day, whatever you got to get in, whatever you can get in, get it. So that would be my advice to that person. Don't worry about your weight. Don't worry about if it's healthy or not healthy at the moment, because at the back end, you can work on that part. And that's what I had to do.
Very good, very good, very good advice. Okay, anybody can take this one, but what's one thing you wish more people understood about the breast cancer journey?
Juva, you and I both know we talked about that word strong. Remember?
Yes.
And I kind of touched a little bit with Jen and Christina before we started, and I didn't get a chance to talk to Tasha at all. But for me, the word strong is actually for someone who gearing up for literally the battle of their life, for their life, the word strong doesn't do us justice. So it really, we're not strong. We really just have no choice, but we're either going to live or we're not. And whatever we pour into it is what we're going to get from it. So we do what the doctors tell us to do it. You know, I never let my daughter see me scared. I never let her see me sad. Even if I was terrified shaking in my boots, I told her, your mother is a badass, and there ain't nothing I haven't been able to do yet. So I'm going to do this too. And then she said, okay, well, good, but I just want you to know I'm not shaving my head. So, you know, you gotta laugh. You gotta remember that this is just a word. And like she said, like Jen said, it does go fast. Because
Yeah.
I remember in the beginning, it was like a year felt like a lifetime. But now I passed my year of diagnosis in May. I passed my surgery date in July. I passed my chemo year this year, you know. So the years are now, that part is over. And like, I love the idea of becoming a mentor. Like how that's what God, that's what this is about. We were given this because he knew that when we got to the other side, our testimony and our story was going to be incredible. And there's, the way I see it is, I don't look the same as everyone else, and I don't sound the same as everyone else. So there's other little people in the world, little girls that have disabilities that already are not understood. They're already outsided. They're already dealing with the mean girls. They're already dealing with all of these things, and now they're given it. Now my girls were taken on top of everything else, right? But you know what? It's okay. And if I can do it, that little girl that also got that disability, and this is out there now forever, you guys. So it may not touch somebody today, but when we're getting on in 30, 40, 50, 80 years, my little girl might come upon this episode and go, oh wait, that's my mom. Hey wait, those are those girls I said hello to. And we might just save my little girl's life. And that, I think, is what this purpose is all about. It's not about us anymore. It's about who we're going to get through their first year. Because we know how scary it was, and we got through it. And a lot of it, for me, I did alone. Because I live in a little tiny one-horse town. There's nothing up here. There's no program. There's no nothing. So it you know, you, like Juva said, you have your people and your group, and then you have your our little support group, and then you know you start to branch off, and then it becomes something way bigger. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Sarah, girl, yes, absolutely.
What that quote that you said that I told you that I always forget the quote, but
I believe the quote was, "I fight, I fight, you fight, you fight, I fight," and no one does. No one has to do this alone. We don't fight alone. So, and that was very, very, very helpful for me. Wow. Does anybody else want to take on the question as well as to what's the one thing you wish more people understood about a breast cancer journey?
I was going to say the exact same thing when it comes to being strong. That's why I started laughing, because that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, that's
I got
strong,
that.
honey.
Yes, I got that a lot. And I know to them, it's like they're giving you a compliment. Like, you're the strongest person I know. You're so strong. You're strong, 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 strong. And I told my mom one day, I said, I appreciate everyone thinking that I'm strong, but I don't want to have to be strong. Like she said, we don't have a choice. You know, you have to be strong if you're going to make it through this. Yes, it's a compliment, but it's also like, dog, I'm tired of being strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And everybody expects you to be strong throughout the whole thing. And sometimes you don't have those strong moments. But to them, just because you made it, you're strong. Yes, I am strong. And thank you for everyone who said that. I appreciate the compliment.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's kind of not a badge of honor. I gotta be strong if I'm gonna make it.
Like I ain't got no choice. I often say when God gave me a revelation, he told me, because I was having a problem with that word. I remember saying, hey, I told my husband, I was like, I just don't want anybody to say, that I'm strong. And he didn't really understand why.
Right.
And I was trying to explain just what you two have explained. And but God gave me, he gave me this. He says, what people are seeing is God's grace in operation, because it is all his strength, because it was none of mine. And so people are in awe of like, oh my gosh, you are so strong. But actually it's God's strength that they see that's on me, because there's no way that I could remotely possibly do that or anything.
Exactly. Because when people would ask, how are you so strong? God,
I know
him,
that's
and only
right.
him. That's the only way. Yeah. It's God's grace and his mercy.
And sometimes I think that that's the only thing, like that's how they say it to us. And when
Yeah.
we take it as, I took it as when they said, you're so strong in all my posts, I took it as them just saying, that they're my support system, that I got this. Not that I was necessarily like, I'm strong, because I would tell myself that, like, okay, I gotta be strong. I can do this. You know what I mean? I was very positive through the whole thing, more like kind of like survival mode, like Tasha said. Like I was like, let's do this. Like, but and it's just like I would thank God for giving me a strong body, like to overcome this. To thank you for making me strong. And I if anything, I don't know exactly one thing about breast cancer that I would want them to know, but it's not a death sentence. You know what I mean? Like we have come such a long way in technology and the treatment options for breast cancer now. Like in the past, I had friends, parents who didn't live very long, and now so many women are getting through this, and we do lose some great warriors, along the way, but I'm just like, it's not a death sentence. Like we got this, girls. Like, let's do this. Like spread awareness, like we're doing now, early detection, you know what I mean? Like, so you don't end on the other side.
Very good. And speaking of early detection, Jen, what role do you think awareness plays in early detection and support? And now I done seen all your TikToks, so I already know how you feel about
I was going to say, girl, I was like, what do you mean? What role?
Yeah. So what role
for
do
me,
you think
I chose,
awareness plays
yeah.
in early detection?
So for me, and kind of like Sarah had said, I didn't go to my doctor for like 3 years. And I was like, you know what? This is my year. Like Tasha, like this is my year. I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna work out, lose weight. And then I go in for my appointment. I'm like, oh yeah, I got cancer. That's awesome. Like, here's my year to health. I was like, I guess this is about me. And so now I do go to all my doctor's appointments. And now that I'm healed, survivor, I'm still about like, this is my journey on my health. Like, and I advocate for other people. But I took it as like, when I got this diagnosis, like, kind of like the purpose, like why me? Not why me, but why me? Like, what can I do with it? What I was given. So I'm going to spread awareness. So I do it on my Facebook, my social media. That's how I met Juva, through my TikToks. I showed my entire journey from when I found out, chemo, everything, the in and the out. So people can watch my videos and exactly, everybody's different, I would say, but what it's going to look like for them. So they are not less scared, possibly, or whatever it may be. Or just even a support system to direct message if they want to like talk to somebody and whatnot. And I got a lot of support from those groups, like I've been saying. So I felt like I had to give back almost. Like it's give back if you can. Do you know what I mean? You don't never know what others are fighting and going through. So I'm going to help. Early detection does save lives because you can catch it early. So it doesn't metastasize, whatever that word is. I can't even say it, that metastasize.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, mine didn't. But it can happen. You know what I mean? So let's catch it early so we can get it, knock it out and get it out of our body. You know, it's
Yeah.
always there, but out of our body.
Yeah. And I really appreciate you being so very consistent and spreading awareness, because I think, I mean, I guess sometimes you just don't, you don't know. None of us knew that this was going to necessarily happen to us. So it's very important that we, that we share as much as possible. So I'm going to ask this kind of like our final kind of questions, and we're going to round robin, and we're going to go this way. So we're going to go Christina, Tasha, Jen, Sarah, Juva. Okay. And Jen, you kind of touched on this a little bit. So let's see. All right. The question is, what does survivorship mean to you, and how has it shaped your purpose? And Christina's looking at me like, girl, why do you want me to go first?
Yeah, why you want me to go first? Well, first let me say that yes, I've had all the chemo, I've had my mastectomy. I am still in the middle of what they call the maintenance chemo. I still have one more surgery, one more planned surgery. So that's kind of the plan that's been laid out for me. But as far as survivorship, I will be honest and say that I've struggled with that a little. Just because for me, I don't feel like I'm a survivor yet.
Okay.
I still feel like I'm in the thick of things. I still feel like I'm gonna cry. I still feel like I have fights left ahead of me. I still feel like God still has a purpose for me. And that purpose is, absolutely to, like Jen was saying, be there for someone else who might get the same diagnosis. I have some videos on my Facebook page of trying to, make people aware of what things look like, just because, again, until I got cancer myself, I didn't know what that looked like. But I will just be honest and say survivorship is something that that I've struggled with. I actually have a shirt in my closet that says I'm a survivor, but I'm not wearing it yet. Just I don't feel like I have made it to the finish line just yet.
Right.
Do I feel like the mastectomy itself, got the cancer out of my body? Yes, I do. But at the same time, until I'm at the very end, I'm not real sure that I consider myself a survivor just yet.
Girl, I feel you. I think we probably all we feel you. We feel you. Tasha, can't hear you. Wait a minute. Are you on mute?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. I want to say to Christina, you have not reached the finish line, but you have survived the different courses through the breast journey that you're on. So you may not be the full survivor, but you have survived. Okay.
Yes.
So that's to you. Survivorship to me is I won. I beat breast cancer, I am cancer free. That's what survivorship means to me. And I am grateful for that. It was a fight, but I won and I survived. My journey is for as what I had to go through. I went for my yearly routine. I didn't have any signs, any symptoms, any lumps, any nothing. I just had my regular routine visit, and they found 2 masks. Called me back, did that, did the biopsy, the whole thing. And then when I had the surgery to have the mass removed, they also removed 4 lymph nodes. And out of the 4, 2 was cancerous. So I had to do 16 rounds of chemo and 30 rounds of radiation. So that was my treatment. As a Christian, my job is to love, to help, to encourage, to inspire, to what's the word? I can't remember the last word I was going to use, but that's my job as a Christian. So the same job I have as a Christian is now the job that I have, is my purpose for after breast cancer, is to go back and help my other pink sisters or brothers that I can have. Like the Bible said, once you've been converted, you go back and help your brother and strengthen your brother and help them. So that's what my purpose is now, to go back and reach the people that are now dealing with it, to love on them, to help them, to encourage them, to let them know that they can make it. And so that nobody will have to go through this by themselves.
That's right.
And
Yes.
yes, because this is not a fight that you want to have to go through by yourself. And
Right.
I also journeyed my whole journey on social media. And during that, I received inboxes, as Jen stated. So I began, people like, oh, my sister have cancer. Oh, my aunt have cancer. Oh, my friend has cancer. So I began to ask these people, well, what is their name? And I would write their name down on postcards like this, and write down what type of cancer they have, their name, and who they belong to. And I began praying every day for those people that was on my prayer card that I interact with on social media, and different people that will reach out to me. I also took a nurse navigation to become a nurse navigator class. So me and my mom did a 14-week class, and we're now breast navigators. And I also am in the process. We already picked our name. We already registered with the Secretary of State, starting a nonprofit organization. So,
Oh, wow. Thank you, Tasha.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Whew. Jen.
All right, go you, Tasha. Go you. I had so I had a double mastectomy. I went through 16 rounds of chemo, 30 rounds of radiation. I'm 6 months out from all that, so doing good. Next year I have consultations set up, but I'm going to do the DIEP flap reconstruction, which I was going to do that in surgery. So I'm cut hip to hip, but we had to abort it because it was in my lymph nodes. So I know exactly what I'm going to be going through when that surgery does come, because I'm already pre-cut. I was all cut. So I had to go through that plus chest cut. So did all that. But survivorship, I just feel blessed. You know what I mean? Like I know in my last doctor's appointment, I actually asked them and said, well, I told them, I said, you know that I'm never cancer free. Like, they can't get it all out of me. Like, it's in your chest wall. They can't get that deep. And they're like, well, you're right. I said, well, how do you know? If I have no breasts and I don't get mammograms, what other tests are you going to give me so I can ensure that I stay safe, like throughout, my journey and my years to come? And they're like, oh, just self-exams. I was like, well, what if I want something else? Like, what if, and I actually met a fellow, breast nurse, one of my clients. Great to have clients because they tell you from a different hospital, and she's like, you can get ultrasounds and stuff, so make sure you ask and advocate for yourself and tell them what you want. And I said, oh, okay, because I just wanted to see what my doctor said last week, because I just had it last week, just to see where they were at with, like, just self-exams. And I'm like, but I mean, that could go years before I could feel feel it or see it or something, so But I just feel, I'm here for a reason. I don't know if it was to test my resilience and strength, going along the strength thing. I don't know if that's what God's plan was with me. But I definitely felt it. You know what I mean? Like, we had a lot of words through this whole journey with him. I was like, so he was like my big brother, hated him and I loved him at the same time.
Yeah.
But I just try to be a better my version of myself daily. Live life with gratitude, spread kindness. That I said, we can't rid the world of evil. Like, there's going to be evil out there, but we can try to be kinder and spread it to the next person, and hopefully they'll carry it on. But it's going to stop eventually, yes. But let's not think about that. Like, let's just spread kindness. We never know what others are going through, so let's just, just talk to them and just be kind. Like, it costs nothing to smile and be kind. Like,
that's right.
So that's what I feel. Just feel blessed,
Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. And Sarah, same question for you. And that is, what does survivorship mean to you, and how has it shaped your purpose? Oh, can't hear you.
Unmute. Oh,
There,
you go.
there.
Well, I'm with Christina on this. Even though I'm a year out on everything, I have a survivor shirt in the closet as well, and I haven't worn it either, because even though, yes, I am surviving, I feel like there's still a lot of us that I started this journey with, that, like Christina, that are still going through things. And for me, I'm not surviving until we're all surviving. Because you all started this journey, and when I see one of you in the hospital, or even myself, you all are gonna make me cry. It's hard for me because I know what our journey has been, and I know how hard it is for all of us. And but I don't know how to answer this. But I guess survivorship for me is like all of us being able to turn around and now go, okay, I did it, now you're going to do it. And
Yeah.
like God says, when we're not the footprint, right? When we're not able to walk, He carries us. That's
Right.
what I want to be for somebody. I actually, y'all know I have my little service animal that I take everywhere I go with me. There's a little, what we do have, it's called Canine for Christ. And we go, like, they go into homeless shelters, or they'll go to the old age homes, or for like kids or whatever. And there's 4 or 5 little dogs, and we go in and we're canines for Christ, and it opens up conversation. And I feel like for me, I was saved during my breast cancer journey. So I became more religious as I went through the process, if that makes any sense. Now I'm going to school to become a minister, because I want to give back, and I want to help. Wherever that is, wherever this, even if that's just with you guys, and we talk about God, and we talk, I just want to help.
Right.
And I think that we, as women, as mothers, as daughters, as aunts, as sisters, as wives, we forget in our daily life just how important we are to those people, right? Because even through our struggles, that was what kept me going. And my daughter is not ready yet. I haven't taught her all the things that I needed her to know before I go meet my maker.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't willing to give up until she is not ready. And that's when I keep telling God, bro, you have to leave me here. I have things to do.
That's right.
Like, you're not taking me, buddy. You know, you better start running. You better run like hell, buddy, because I'm running faster. And I got a diaper on, so if I pee my pants, it's all
Girl.
gravy. Let's go. You know, I mean, cancer is ugly and it takes a lot of things. And, you know, all of
Oh
us
my God.
are so young still. Really, you know, we're so young still. And for our bodies to betray us the way that it did when we were sick, you know, it was like, for me, it was like, oh, what? Damn it. You know, like, why am I wearing a diaper at 45? But you know what? I don't pee my pants in public anymore.
Well, that's good.
I did that one time and said, no, ma'am.
That's right.
My
Yeah,
husband's like, why are you putting diapers in the cart? I said, mind your business.
absolutely. I feel you. Wow. I'm gonna answer the same question. Survivorship for me. Um, I guess let me share what it is that I guess the treatments that I had. I chose to, because I had cancer in my right breast, and of course I had like two, like I said, two different cancers in there. There was no saving this boob. The whole thing came off, but I had a single mastectomy. I had 12 rounds of chemotherapy, and I had 25 rounds of immunotherapy or maintenance chemo, because I'm triple positive. So so there's that. So I had finished 25 rounds of that. I did have the deep flap. And so if you're pre-cut, I get you, girl. That is a big, big, big surgery. I had that done in July. I am still wearing my tummy band for that. My bones still hurt. But I've finished all, I guess, active treatment. So of course now I have, the AI meds, which does a number on you anyway for the next 5 years. And I'm still getting the tummy injections, where I get a shot every 28 days, alternating sides of my tummy, basically um, to kill my ovaries, right? So, but survivorship to me. Um, I understand what you said. Definitely, Christina, because I feel like I'm still, even though I'm a survivor, um, I feel like I'm still fighting. I feel like I'm still fighting. And honestly, because I still have one breast, even though I did get a nice little lift there and stuff like that. When they did the deep flap, they lifted the other one, but still I have one, I said one real breast, right? That one real breast has a mammogram scheduled November 22nd. And I'm scared. I'm like, what if, and what if, and I try to make sure that I stay positive and I think positive and I speak life over myself. Um, but it's still scary. So I understand. I feel like, and maybe it's just the stage that I'm in right now. I don't know. Maybe another pink sister will be able to come tell me something different. But I feel like I'm still just kind of in that survival kind of fight mode a lot of times. But how has it shaped my purpose? I'll be real honest. I am all about purpose, right? Of course, you're on the purpose conversation because I'm so connected to purpose. But for the past year, I have honestly, I think I disconnected. And it wasn't until maybe about a week ago I prepared to go and be a part of a talk in Texas that I just finished up. Um, that kind of reconnected to my purpose. And of course, my purpose, part of my purpose is to help others to understand and realize that they actually have a purpose and God created them on purpose for a purpose. But when this whole diagnosis came, it just kind of shut me down. And I'm like, God, what is the purpose in all of this? And it shifted a little. And it's to of course allow people to know that God created them on purpose for a purpose. But even when you have been diagnosed with breast cancer, even if you've been diagnosed with whatever, God still has a purpose, and he can still use that very thing that came out of nowhere and meant to take you out, to be honest. That thing that was meant to take you out, God can and he does and he will use it. And so my purpose shifted a little bit. And so I am determined to tell people, hey, y'all, schedule those mammograms because early detection save lives. And but yeah, I wow. Ladies, I can't thank you enough for being a part of this. And we could probably go on and on and on. If you would, do you have any final thoughts, wrap ups, shout outs, anything before we get out of here?
I'd like to read something.
Oh, please.
Okay, so a promise of peace from Philippians 4, 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about everything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind through Christ Jesus.
Amen. Thank you.
So, just we got things to do, ladies.
Amen. Oh, I see my mother said thanks, ladies. All right. Does anybody else have any final words, any shout outs?
Can you hear me? I like to shout out. When you talked about support system, I had probably the best support system in the entire world. My mom, Dukes, Miss Vicki Addison. When I was diagnosed, she told me, "You will not go through this journey alone. I will be with you through the whole thing." And when it was time for me to shave my head, she shaved her head right along with me. And my auntie, who happened to just move to Charlotte previously, to be with us, she was a tremendous help in this journey with my mom. They went to, until my aunt got a job, they went to every appointment, but my mother made every appointment for this whole year. I don't care if it was breast cancer related or something totally different. She was there by my side, and my husband held down the household financially because I could not work. My church family prayed, my friends prayed. So I just appreciate everybody that supported me. And one last thing that I wanted to say is just know that the chemo, the radiation, the breast cancer journey is just temporary.
Yeah. Very good. And hey, Ma Dukes, because I know she's probably watching or she's
You
gonna
know it.
watch. And yeah. Anybody else?
I just want to say thank y'all, and nice finally meeting all of you. Finally, for me, this is my first time meeting some of you, so it's finally good to put a face with a conversation and a name.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It makes you kind of see that all these relationships that we've built over the years in these little groups, to see it kind of come in formation, and we're not all on the other side of it, but we're on the other side of the hardest part of it, I think. You know, and I'm grateful to be alive, to be able to be here and to have this conversation with you guys. And I know that our purpose is bigger than breast cancer.
I
And
know that's right, Sarah.
so,
I
and
know.
I'm just grateful to be part of this purpose with you. So thank you.
Thank you. Jen, were you
I
gonna
kind of
wrap
just
up
want to,
too?
yeah, I just want to kind of partner off of what they both said. Give a shout out to, I had an amazing support system through the entire thing. Support is so important.
Yes.
And then for those who don't have support, I let them know that there are support through your churches, your hospital. They have other support groups and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
can be there for you, whether it be financially, anything, emotionally, mentally. But my husband went to every appointment. I mean, that man, I mean, TMI, that man wiped my ass. Okay, I don't know if I can say that on here, but
Yes, girl.
that is love, girl. That is
That is
love.
love.
Hey, let's
I don't.
remember
I told him
the
I don't.
newlyweds. Poor guy.
But
Oops.
he might have to do it again when I get the deep. We'll see.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh, yeah.
um, but you know, breast cancer, it doesn't define us. You know what I mean? But it is something that, you know, unfortunately brings us all together. And you know, and other women, you know, alike. We're all a big sisterhood for life, for no matter what. So I'm just, you know, I'm grateful for that, for all the relationship that it's brought, you know, and for Juva inviting us to this. I never would have met you probably, or none of you, like, had we not had, my oncology team was amazing. My coworkers, I mean, literally I couldn't have been, I'm not gonna say perfect because it wasn't perfect. I had some bumps along the way, but you know what I mean? But I'm just like, you know, it wasn't that bad for the first go around. I don't want a second, but, you know,
Yeah, right? You know that's right.
but you know, that's why I say of course, if we have to do it again, we'll do it again. But you know, I just look at, you know, I'm still here and I'm going to continue to spread the word. You know what I mean? Like, and whatever that may be, and whatever God puts in my lap, and I'll go with it. You know, I don't even own a Jeep, and I bought those little like ducks, like breast cancer ducks, to put on people's Jeeps. I was like, I don't even own a Jeep, like, but I just want to like drive around at night. I'm like, I told my son, like, come on, let's go duck Jeeps, like.
That's right.
No, but I'm going to continue being fun. I like to be fun, you know, and spread kindness. You know what I mean? So that's just what I'm going to do. You know, have fun. Like,
That's
you know,
Well, and didn't this cancer diagnosis, it teaches you and it really puts things in perspective. Life is short. Life is
yeah,
short. And you know, I spent a majority of the last 10 years waiting to die because I missed my mother so much when my mom passed. But this taught me to live again.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm
yeah,
back in I'm back. I just got a horse. I'm back in the saddle. Like all the things that I needed, but I didn't know how to ask, how to pray, how to work. Like God brought me into this fall so that I can be brought back up and blessed, right? And learning that, I now know how to bless other people. I know how to pray for other people and over and with other people. Like I always say, I never pray for you, but I'll pray with you. Let's pray right now.
There
You
you
know,
go.
I volunteer at the hospital now. I run into older ladies, younger ladies. Oh, I'm a breast cancer survivor. And literally right there in the gift shop, we conversate and we'll start praying for each other right there.
There you
And
go.
it's really cool. It's just
hmm
cool the things that have started happening.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Really cool.
I tell people, I'm like, take that PTO, make those memories. You know what I mean? Like, you look at life
Yeah.
differently when you
Yeah.
could have a life where you couldn't be here. It just live it. Like, make those
Yeah.
memories, and like, you know,
Well, my
don't
whole
take
family
time for
died.
yourself. Slow down a little. You know,
Well, I thought I was
because like
crazy
life
for
goes like,
driving back east, but it was like, dude, I might only have this last summer. I'm driving it because I want to see everything. I didn't
yeah,
do it just
That's
for the
right.
kid. You know, it was for me too.
Yep.
So yeah, do it. Just live. Just go. Just do it.
Just live.
Leave in the middle of the night. Just go.
That's right. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you ladies for joining me on this special edition of the Purpose Conversation. I guess the final thing that I would tell everybody, of course, get your mammograms, schedule those mammograms if you haven't done so already, because early detection, it really does save lives.
Mhm.
Uh, also, I want to encourage you that if you are newly diagnosed, um, utilize your resources. If you have a nurse navigator or anything like that, utilize it, because there's so much that goes on. You may have lots of questions. You may need different resources. Cancer, breast cancer, I mean, it impacts you. It can impact you physically, definitely. It impacts you financially. Utilize your resources and join. I would definitely say, I would suggest that you join different types of support groups, because what I learned in those support groups is that, of course, we could always bounce questions off of each other, because in those groups, there's always somebody that is going through surgery, somebody that has finished surgery, somebody that is going through chemo, finished chemo, lost hair, fingernails fell off. There's always somebody going through something or overcoming something, and they can be a wealth of information. So utilize those resources and be careful. And if you need to take a break from it, sometimes take a break, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. I felt real bad. I had Christina. I said, Christina, hey, come and join this group. And then she's like, oh gosh, I wasn't ready for that particular thing that I saw. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry, you know,
It
but
was.
but the thing is that you have people that have gone through some of everything, and that person's journey is a source of strength and hope to someone else. So thank you for sharing your stories tonight. And to all my purpose friends, new purpose friends, I'm going to invite you to come back in, share this show with somebody. Share
Yeah.
this show with somebody. And if you have questions, ladies, I would ask that you come back through YouTube, see who may have asked questions or whatever, and just kind of interact, because you should be able to kind of go in and just kind of, answer questions that people may have. And I want to thank everybody for coming in, all of the purpose friends that came into the room. There are some that left different messages and said different things. So your family and friends are out here supporting. And as always, as I close out the purpose conversation, I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to continuously to seek, to discover, and to pursue your purpose on purpose. You've just been watching or listening in to the Purpose Conversation. Good night, everybody. Love
Good
y'all,
night.
Pink Sisters.
Thanks,
Love
Juva.
you, Juva. Bye, girl. Please reach out if you need anything.
Will do. Because what?
Bye.
When you fight,
Yeah.
I fight. Nobody fights
That's right.
alone.
You know that's right, girlfriend. Don't play. Don't play with me. I'll be out there in 31 hours, baby.
Oh gosh, I know you will. Bye, y'all.
Bye
Good night.
bye. Good night.